Imagine driving your vehicle when the temperature outside reaches 60 degrees Celsius, hot enough to cook meat. Your steering wheel scorches your palms, your lungs struggle with each breath, and your body begins failing within an hour without protection. This reality faces Australian truck drivers during summer as they navigate the blistering outback. While most retreat to air-conditioned sanctuaries, these road warriors push forward through some of Earth's most extreme heat conditions. Their survival methods, ingenious techniques that keep them alive in temperatures that would defeat most of us, showcase the extraordinary resilience of those who keep Australia's supply chains moving when the mercury soars. Number 1. Australia's deadly heat, when the road becomes an oven. Picture a hot landscape where road signs warp in the sun, where the air seems to simmer like an invisible soup. Welcome to the Australian Outback in summer, where temperatures regularly break records. While most industrial operations worldwide shut down when temperatures approach 40 degrees Celsius, Australian truckers push through conditions regularly exceeding 50 degrees Celsius ambient temperature, with road surfaces often reaching a staggering 70 degrees Celsius, comparable to the temperature inside a slow cooker. Australia's unique geography creates this natural furnace effect. The vast, flat interior landmass absorbs intense solar radiation with few mountains to moderate airflow or generate cooling precipitation. During summer, high-pressure systems can stall over the continent for weeks, creating heat domes that trap and intensify the scorching temperatures. This geography transforms highways like the Stuart Highway, connecting Adelaide to Darwin, into thermal corridors where asphalt melts under tires, earning sections the nickname the Devil's Corridor among veteran drivers. These extreme conditions aren't anomalies for truckers, but they're daily reality. Mining operations, remote communities, and significant cities depend on deliveries that can't wait for cooler weather. A typical haul through central Australia involves 14-hour driving shifts through regions where external temperatures exceed human skin temperature. Sweat evaporates almost instantly at 45 degrees Celsius and beyond, providing minimal cooling. When clear thinking becomes most critical, the core temperature climbs. Blood vessels dilate dangerously and cognitive function deteriorates. Mechanical failures in these regions become potentially fatal situations. The remote Tanami track has claimed multiple lives when vehicles broke down, stranding drivers hundreds of kilometers from assistance in temperatures reaching 55 degrees Celsius. Climate change has intensified these already extreme conditions. The past decade has seen Australia break temperature records with alarming frequency, with the summer of 2019-20 setting new benchmarks across the continent. Climate models project these extreme events will become more intense and frequent. Despite these changes, Australia's $40 billion trucking industry must continue functioning. Remote mining operations and isolated communities depend entirely on truck deliveries. This economic reality forces drivers to navigate conditions that combine deadly risk factors, extreme heat, and vast isolation. Number 2, the ultimate price when truckers don't make it home. This economic necessity comes with an unforgiving human cost. When a trucker's radio goes silent in the outback, it often means more than a delayed delivery. Another family will receive the devastating news that their loved one won't be coming home. In January 2020, veteran driver Malcolm Taylor perished when his truck broke down on a remote stretch of the Nullarbor Plain. The air conditioning failed during a 48 degrees Celsius day, and despite his 3 decades of experience, Taylor succumbed to hypothermia before help could arrive. The memorial plaque erected by his fellow drivers simply reads, "The deserts claimed one of our best." These tragedies follow recognizable patterns. Mechanical failures usually force drivers from their climate-controlled cabs into the scorching external environment. Air conditioning breakdowns, tire blowouts, or engine failures become potential death sentences. Time becomes the critical factor. At 60 degrees Celsius, the progression from normal body function to heat stroke can occur in under 90 minutes. The body's temperature regulation systems collapse catastrophically as the core temperature rises above 40 degrees Celsius, leading to cellular damage, organ failure, and ultimately death. My husband knew the risks, explains Sandra Jennings, whose Partner Craig died in 2018 after his radiator failed 170 kilometers from the nearest service station. But what choice did he have? Sitting in the cab without air conditioning was a certain death. Trying to walk for help was his only option. The practice of pushing through, continuing despite warning signs of vehicle problems or personal distress, remains a deadly tradition in an industry where delivery deadlines carry significant financial penalties. Psychology trauma ripples through the trucking community with each loss. Driver James Morrison still struggles with nightmares after discovering a colleague's body in 2021. Finding Dave like that, his skin was blistered, face swollen beyond recognition. I keep thinking about those final minutes he was conscious, knowing what was happening but unable to stop it. For every fatality, dozens of drivers endure near misses that leave lasting physical and mental scars. The regulatory framework has historically prioritized delivery schedules over driver safety. Until 2022, there were no mandatory requirements for backup communication systems in vehicles traversing remote areas. Heat-specific safety protocols remained voluntary guidelines rather than enforceable regulations. The Transport Workers Union has documented at least 37 heat-related fatalities among truck drivers since 2015, with countless more suffering permanent neurological damage, kidney failure, and other lasting health impacts from severe hypothermia incidents. Number 3, surviving against all odds. The trucker's heat arsenal. Facing these deadly conditions, Australia's trucking industry has engineered a counteroffensive against the heat that goes far beyond cranking up the air conditioning. The line between survival and tragedy often comes down to specialized equipment that most drivers outside Australia have never even heard of. What appears as a simple truck cabin to the untrained eye is a meticulously designed survival pod capable of withstanding temperatures that would render standard vehicles inoperable. The revolutionary dual-core cooling system, unique to Australia road trains, is at the heart of this heat arsenal. Unlike conventional air conditioning that relies on a single compressor, these systems incorporate redundant cooling circuits powered independently from the engine. If the primary system fails, the secondary automatically engages, providing critical minutes or hours necessary to reach safety. These systems are complemented by cabin insulation that exceeds aerospace standards, with specialized reflective coatings that can reduce interior temperature buildup by up to 15 degrees Celsius compared to standard trucks. The drivers themselves become walking scientific experiments in human heat management. Their hydration regimens would seem obsessive to outsiders, consuming precisely measured quantities of electrolyte balance fluids every 20 minutes according to personalized schedules based on body weight and outside temperature. Many veteran drivers use specialized hydration backpacks with integrated cooling systems. Their clothing itself is a technological marvel. Far from the stereotypical trucker attire, Australian drivers wear multi-layer garments developed in collaboration with military research facilities. These incorporate phase change materials that absorb body heat, moisture-wicking inner layers, and specifically designed ventilation channels. Some even use cooling vests designed initially for Formula One drivers. The truck's emergency equipment would make wilderness survival experts nod in approval. Every cab contains thermal emergency shelters that can be deployed if the vehicle becomes stranded. Portable water purification systems, and satellite communicators that function even when cellular networks fail. Perhaps most impressive is how the industry has incorporated indigenous knowledge into modern practices. Ancient techniques for locating underground water sources have been mapped and documented in unique trucker guides. Traditional cooling shelter creation methods using minimal materials have become standard emergency training. Even the timing of specific routes follows seasonal patterns identified by indigenous communities thousands of years ago. The community aspect provides the final critical layer of protection. The Road Guardian system pairs drivers on similar routes, establishing mandatory check-in protocols every 2 hours. If a check-in is missed, precise GPS coordinates are automatically transmitted to emergency services and nearby drivers. Shared weather alert systems provide real-time temperature mapping that's far more detailed than public forecasts, allowing drivers to reroute when dangerous heat pockets develop. The road warriors of Australia's highways stand as living monuments to human resilience. Through generations of trial, error, and innovation, these truckers have transformed what should be possible into their daily routine. Their story transcends the transportation industry. It offers a blueprint for human adaptation in an era where extreme weather events are becoming increasingly common worldwide. What these drivers have pioneered, from their communication networks to cutting-edge cooling technologies, represents knowledge that may prove invaluable as global temperatures rise. Their methods weren't developed in laboratories, but through necessity on the scorching asphalt of Australia's interior, creating solutions more effective than any academic approaches to extreme heat survival. Perhaps most importantly, these truckers remind us of humanity's remarkable adaptation capacity. As our planet faces unprecedented environmental challenges, the lessons from Australia's highways provide both caution and hope. A testament that with ingenuity, community support, and respect for nature's power, we can thrive even in the most hostile conditions our Earth presents.